A couple of months ago, Aston Martin unveiled the brand new DB12, and I was invited to check it out at the Brand Center in Tokyo. But they also asked me not to publish any videos about it because there was still a line of customers waiting to see it for themselves. Well, it's been a couple of months, and at this point I think everybody's either seen pictures or videos or the car itself, so now I can finally share what I filmed.
Hello, my name is Richard Seidlitz, I'm the owner of redpants.lol, and this is Red Pants Unzipped. It's the fun side of Red Pants, and today's fun thing is that we're going to see the new DB12 from Aston Martin, which I didn't even realize was in the public yet because it was just announced by Aston Martin Corporate yesterday. Well, they have one here in Tokyo, and I'm going to take a look at it, so come along with me and let's check this thing out. This is usually all clear, and the last time I was here they actually had a Lagonda sitting right there, but they've got this green film over everything to keep you from seeing what's inside. So I thought that there would be a car sitting in here, because like I said, there used to be a Lagonda sitting right here, but nope, just a welcome area. And some really cool promotional stuff, as it is Aston Martin's 110th anniversary. Fun fact, there is a room full of champagne around that corner and down the stairs. And here it is. Right off the bat, without even seeing the cover off of it, we can see that the front end is super high up. It's very tall compared to what it was in the outgoing one. It's a much bigger grille, which I don't think anybody's gonna mind. I think this thing's gonna look pretty awesome. But what also stands out quite a bit is that the fenders are really high too. I mean, those are way up there. They're not much lower than the hood line itself. I think it's gonna give you some really big tires. I'm guessing this is gonna come on 20s by standard, maybe even 21s as optionals. Very, very big. It's almost pushing into that Rolls-Royce wheel and tire combination territory there. The front end looks very different in a lot of ways, but coming to the rear, it looks pretty much the same, at least with the cover on. You can see the detail lines with the rear accent piece that goes through the taillights. I think that's going to be pretty similar, and based on the production pictures, excuse me, the marketing pictures they've shown, that should be pretty accurate. So I'm not expecting to see a whole lot of change back here, but I think that front end is going to be the real big news.
Having been to a few unveilings, I knew what to expect. There'd be a presentation or a speech or both to highlight some aspects about the vehicle and hype you up a bit. And then your attention would be directed to the car, at which point a couple people would go up and then take the corners of the sheet and unveil it to show it in all its glory. And that's sort of how it happened. They started showing a video up on a screen and we directed our attention to it, but they never directed our attention back. So all of a sudden, while we're watching the screen on the wall, the sheet comes off lightning quick. I mean, it was just whipped out like a frat boy at a sorority party. It was out there in the open. It was an automated system, so they didn't have anybody walk up to the car. It was just, now you sheet it, now you don't. So I'm sorry I didn't capture it on film. I barely saw it even out of the corner of my eye, and I was there in person. It's a bit ironic that Aston Martin went from the DB7 to the DB9 and deliberately skipped the DB8 to
prevent confusion about that car having a V12 engine. And yet, here we are with a DB12 fitted with a V8.
So right off the bat, my initial impressions are that the back end definitely continues looking like the DB11. There's not much change there. The front end is definitely different. These are something of an evolution of the DB11 headlights. I like these a lot more. I think they're a much more natural shape for the car. Where the DB11 ones didn't really work for me, these ones do quite a bit. They're LED is what she was saying. They also have this cool design inside of them, which I think is a nice touch, really jazzes it up quite a bit. One thing that stood out to me that I didn't quite like is this right here. I'm pretty sure it is radar, maybe for automatic distance control for cruise control or something like that. I'll find out here shortly. The other thing I noticed is that she said there's a new badge, and I think they made the Aston Martin text bigger, because if I remember correctly, this was slightly smaller, and it leads to a lot of people getting up real close asking, what kind of car is this? And you saying, oh, it's an Aston Martin. So I believe they made the Aston Martin text bigger on that. But my big complaints about the DB11 are largely addressed here as far as styling is concerned, because instead of having the lower chin spoiler not being integrated whatsoever, which is also why I hate the fake mustache grille of the new Vantage, they took the DBS Superleggera styling, softened it up a bit, and then molded it in, so it actually works really, really well here. I think that is quite stunning. We've got the continuation of carbon ceramic brakes. These things are massive. For the people that talk about tires a lot, here we have the Michelin Pilot Sport 5S, which is the new one. They are a massive 275 in the front. And I'm guessing the rears are 305. Oh, 325s in the rear. That is massive. But it does look like the rear is largely unchanged. I think maybe that might be contoured slightly different right here in that accent. But I think other than that, it is largely the same. One thing that stood out to me immediately when I saw the pre-production pictures, or I guess the marketing pictures, was the center console right here. Very Porsche-like, but it works pretty well. I do like that the navigation screen is actually integrated. The ICE is actually integrated, which is something that a lot of companies aren't doing anymore. And then we also have a big digital readout for the main gauge cluster. These seats are beautiful, love the leather, they look like they match here, but I can't help but think that a lot of the styling is reminiscent of Porsche, that they have a lot of straight lines.
This is lit.
So there we go. I love the front end. I think it's a huge improvement. The rear is not really changed, but I don't think it needed any change. The wheels and tires are massive, but I think that's going to contribute quite a bit to the ride quality. The interior, I'm a bit split on. I was not a huge fan of the DB11's interior. This, I think, is a big improvement, but still, it doesn't feel Aston Martin to me. It seems kind of more Porsche than Aston Martin. So I'm a bit split there. But overall, I really like what they did with it. I think this is going to be quite the success for them. I think they've put a lot of presence into the car that the DB11 didn't have. I've seen DB11s in the wild where I looked at it and I was like, it just doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything. It's there, but I don't see it. It doesn't stand out. So I think the DB12 is going to be a big improvement in that regard. But tell me what you think. I mean, this is another new model for Aston Martin, and they are making a lot of let's say, big moves these days to move more up market. So what do you think? Tell me your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you like what you saw, you want to see more stuff like this, by all means, subscribe, like, blah, 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 blah. It's YouTube. You know what to do. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.
The timeless phrasing of boulder, ner.